Yo, what it is? Back. I'm gonna turn this video to an upload. I ain't even gonna make this live real long for real. Man, hit that like button, man. Wait, some people getting in here, man. Yo, people gotta start calling these niggas out, man. Like, it's crazy what they getting away with. It's crazy that the federal government is getting away with using bloggers to solve their cases. And these niggas still getting support. Niggas still sharing these niggas. That's just sad. But DJ Academics. Yo, DJ Academics and Trap Lil Ross is working overtime right now trying to convince the world that Durk was rapping about crimes in his lyrics. Specific crimes. Run it up, what it is. Like, yo, this is crazy, yo, that people's not calling yo out for that shit. It seems like I'm the only one doing it. Like, who else is calling out Durk and them? I mean, not Durk. These Academics. I've seen people say shit about Trap Lil Ross. But it's like, these niggas scared to say something to Academics. They is scared to call out Academics for working with the federal government. Like I told y'all, I don't care, y'all. I don't have to work with none of these guys. Like, I don't need to use their fan base or their following to, like, nah, I ain't gotta do none of that. I don't care like that. You feel me? These niggas is disgusting, y'all. I told y'all from the beginning, when Durk first got arrested, that interview DJ Academics did with Lil Durk was intentional. Them questions was intentional. The Slab for Vaughn question was intentional. Like, it wasn't just no interview. That nigga was doing police work back then. That's why when Durk responded the way he responded, he was looking like that. Nigga working with the fucking police, yo, and it's crazy that, I don't know, yo, I just don't get it. I don't get it how, like, that should fill his comments. Yo, you the feds. Like how niggas was calling Whack out. Niggas need to do the same thing for DJ Academics. Niggas a fucking agent, man. It's an agent. If he's not an agent, he's a helper. At the very least, he's a federal asset, and he helps these people in these cases. Because you can't explain to me in a way that makes sense, other than the fact that he's the police, is that their whole case now is about rap lyrics. For the most part, it's about rap lyrics. But every time I click on Instagram, I see videos of DJ Academics and Trap Lil Ross breaking down rap lyrics. Every fucking time, yo. And these are two people that's aware of the case. They're aware of the case. So, yeah, he from Jamaica, y'all. I just did a video the other day calling him out. Because people think he like us and he ain't. People think DJ Academics is a black man. And in some aspects he is. But he's not an American black man. He doesn't care about American black people. He no different than an Adam 22 or Vlad. He's just a culture vulture. Look, you talking about Black and Miles. I'm talking about we got a Fed agent acting like a YouTuber. See, this is why niggas can't get shit right. You got dumb shit going on. You worry about me. I'm talking about, yo, it's a Fed agent online helping solve cases. Disguised as a blogger, as an influencer. Act like he cares about the coach. He be saying the N-word. Yo, DJ Demon shouldn't be allowed to say the N-word, man. Man, I don't get involved in that. Yeah, I don't get involved with that, Randy. Them niggas lying, yo. They lying, they putting out misinformation. So let me show y'all what I'm talking about. And then even when they breaking down the rap lyrics, they're not providing context to nothing. You feel me? They just literally breaking down the rap lyrics, basically telling the world or telling their followers, like, look, this is a fact. And if you know anything, if you really know about the trial or the case, which DJ Akademiks does know about the case, he would know that, yo, some of the songs that the federal government is using was written before the murder of D-Thing and motherfucking King Von. But he's not telling that part of the story. He's not mentioning that. He's just saying, look, let me show y'all what I'm saying, what I'm talking about.
Montgomery explained to his jail cellmate that the bounty for Youngin, which was Stephon Mack's name, was 70 grand. And that Montgomery Wilson, skinny dude, tried to get the amount increased to 90 grand. Next thing you know, that's a dub. Man, reminds me when we were having that conversation, shorty. Ken told me, like, shit, yo, he a 70 ball. So they were talking about some nigga named Ken told him that Stephon Mack was 70,000 was on his head. I said, shit, he a 70 ball right now? He said, man, I'm trying to get him to go to a 90 ball though. And the CS, the jailmate guy says, wait, for a motherfucker. He said, for Youngin, which Youngin means Stephon Mack. Here's the second excerpt. Saying this excerpt, the skinny dude is explained to his cellmate that although individual A, and that's important, contributed 50 grand for the bounty, they only collected a portion of those funds. Now, this is where the obvious and where feds have, consistently like pretty much pointed the elbow at Dirk. They're saying individual A is. They say, yo, look, this is what Jam told Didi. So-and-so gave up 50. He only paid me a dub. So that's 30 missing. Wait, hold up, man. Don't somebody got a lyric that says, pay me a dub, walk inside the club? What song is that? Back in Blood? Your mans you keep on talking better get that shit in blood. Give my shorty and them a dub, and they gonna walk inside the club. Hit his ass, that switch. I bet that shit switch up his nerve. Fuck the ops in South. Yo, this is crazy, chat. Yo, Fruit Jams in the chat. What up?
Yo.
Montgomery.
That song was done before King Von was killed and D-Thing was killed. You understand what I'm saying? That song was done before D-Thing and King Von was killed. But he's not telling his people that. This is what I mean by he's doing the federal government bidding. He's over that bitch intentionally misleading. Intentionally. I told y'all before, and I'm gonna turn this into an upload. I told y'all before the game that the federal government is playing, man. Certain evidence might not be allowed in court. But as long as you got Trap Lord Ross and DJ Akademiks blogging on it daily, it's in. It's already in court because he already put it out to the public. The public, and you're going to get a jury of your peers, man. And as long as they keep pushing this line with these lies and these falsehoods and breaking down these lyrics, basically saying that these lyrics are a fact. then the federal government don't even need to get certain lyrics into evidence because they got it into evidence through these bloggers by these bloggers misleading their people. So look,
Montgomery explained.
let me show y'all something. Let me show y'all something. And this is the same man. Hey, yo. Come on, bro. You getting on my nerves, this dad shit, y'all. And this the same person who say, you know, Dirk, my man. You know, I fuck with Dirk. You don't fuck with Dirk, bro. You the police, my nigga. And I'll be glad when niggas start calling you out as such. The fucking police. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about.
Update, there are a lot of music lyrics that the government wants to get admitted into evidence in his murder for hire case. Now, the judge heard argument. I'm going to tell you what the judge said. This is a very big fight because if these lyrics get in, they're liable to take a juror and say, you know what, this guy is a menace. Let's put him away for something. If not the top charge, murder for hire, maybe the lesser charge of stalking. A lot like what you saw in the Diddy case when that Cassie video came in. The lyrics at issue here, the judge listened to argument. He said, I need more time to think on it. One of the lyrics was, I'm the type to run from police. And the judge said, clearly that has nothing to do with the murder case. Just saying, you know, fuck the police or run from police, that's out. But there's a lot of other lyrics that they're trying to use, including unreleased music that they found on Dirk's phone. What's crazy to me is the most incriminating lyrics they want to use are from songs released before the murder that make Dirk seem like a psychic. There's this song, Who Wants Smoke, released 10 months before the murder. It says, quote, they be on my page like Slide for Vaughn. I know they trolling me. Got it back in blood. Y'all just don't know that's how it's supposed to be. Government says this proves motive. But really, if a jury hears that, this sounds like an admission. But an admission made 10 months before the murder. This is not Minority Report. Song Rumors with Gucci Mane dropped 7 months before the murder. They want the lyric, quote, I don't want no N-word who you catch. I want the one I paid for. Okay, so under the government's theory, they want to play that lyric. They say it shows that he puts bounties. It shows that he was rapping about paying a shooter and the shooter hit the wrong guy 7 months before it happened, like he's some type of psychic, and he wrote that lyric knowing his shooter that he's gonna put the bounty up on is gonna hit the wrong guy. It would be crazy to let this stuff in. Dirk put out so much music and talks about nothing but shooting and the streets and get back and I'm this and I'm that. You could probably find a lyric to fit every single possibility of how a murder for hire plays out in the streets of Los Angeles. In other words, rappers rap about shooting ops. They rap about paying for violence. Doesn't mean you can convict them for those words. And you shouldn't be able to use the words because it's confusing to the jury, especially when you consider that some jurors think about rap music and have a bias against it. They hold it against you just because you're involved in rap. Once you play them lyrics, listen, if Little Dirk goes on trial for his discography, he getting charged with something. He's getting convicted of something. But if these lyrics stay out, like I believe they should, when you consider the history of this guy's rap and all it is about murders and killing.
Well, they allowed the lyrics in. But, you see what I'm saying? Hey, Wilbert, maybe you don't care, yo, that we got black people disguised as Fed agents. Or we got YouTubers disguised as YouTubers and they Fed agents. Maybe that doesn't bother you. I think you should care. I think you should care that you got these guys that's making money off of this music. Making a lot of money. But at the same time are being used. They're painting themselves out as being fans of the culture, fans of the music. But at the same time are being used to take down these same rappers who they make all this money off of. I think you should care about that. I think that's bullshit. And that's the problem. Niggas don't even know how to even correctly characterize what's actually going on. You got these guys who making millions a year off these same rappers who they ultimately are trying to send to jail. The fuck you mean you don't care? That shit's horrible, man. If you don't fuck with these guys, stop speaking on them. If you don't like black people, if you don't care for rap, stop speaking on it. Speak on something that you care about. Or else you just a culture vulture. You ain't no different than Adam. Right. That'd have been Young Boy. Yeah, you right. They would care. Nah, yo, that shit fucked up, yo. And it's sad that people not even calling DJ Academics out. Like, how it's no way I'm the only one that see what's going on. It's no way, yo, that I'm the only one that sees what's going on when it come down to DJ Academics. And he was one of the first ones. Y'all remember when Dirk got booked? He took down this interview, put it back up, and retitled it Dirk Last Interview. Y'all remember that, right? Y'all remember that? He took the interview down. And mind you, this question was irrelevant at that time. So the way Dirk responded really wasn't, out of the ordinary because they wasn't saying it at that time.
Comments. I don't know if people still say it. They used to say it, but you also mentioned a song. They'd be like, they be singing Slide for Vaughn. I think they trolling me. By the way, that song is fire. I ain't gonna lie.
Listen, he think niggas stupid. Yo, the feds told him to ask that question, y'all. The feds told him to ask that question, y'all. It's obvious. If you know how the federal government works.
For some reason, I just don't see them comments no more. For some I read.
Look at him.
I don't know. Might be the water.
Look at him.
You be seeing them comments a lot?
They kind of chilled out a little bit.
I wonder why. Yeah, though. We different in Iraq.
I'm triggered by the Slide for Vaughn comments.
Come on, man. See, what I realized about these blogging niggas, they want favors from these guys. They want to keep the window of opportunity open. So they're willing to accept or willing to overlook when people do certain things. Not me. I don't give a fuck about none of them niggas. I think all them niggas clowns. I don't give a fuck how much money they got, how many followers they got, none of that. You feel me? These niggas is clowns and cornballs that deserve to be called out for the fuckery that they participate in. You can't call yourself a fan of hip hop or a fan of rap music but want to send rappers to jail. That doesn't even make sense. Who wants to send their favorite rapper to jail? Who wants to send? Because if you send this rapper that you say you fuck with, who you listen to their music, if you send them to jail, then the music stops. No new music. You know what I mean? That is like it doesn't even make sense. I fuck with Dirk. I fuck with King Von. I fuck with whoever. But at the same time, when the feds come down with charges, I'm gonna work with the feds, to sway public opinion. No, you don't fuck with that nigga. You been a Fed agent from the beginning, man. Them niggas is working overtime right now. I think I seen it. I ain't really watching like that. And timing is everything, y'all. Timing is everything. These guys, DJ Academics and Trap Lord Ross, two of the biggest names. And look how ironic that is. They got the biggest names in this motherfucking Chicago blog space to comb through lyrics. When it comes down to blogging in Chicago, there's nobody bigger than Trap Lord Ross, DJ Academics, and Trenches News. And all three of them niggas is working overtime to paint false narratives on Durk in the whole case. Remember, Vonnie was a rat. Vonnie was on PC. Remember, Didi was snitching because Didi wanted to get a severance. You know, OTF Jan wore wire. You know what I mean? All these fucking lies, man. But for some reason, YouTube directs anything Lord Durk. YouTube directs majority of the traffic to those three people. And it ain't because their takes are better than others. It ain't that. No, Durk ain't snitching, man. See, look, that's what I'm saying, yo. No, Durk ain't snitching, man. Like, yo, these niggas is intentionally, that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, these people don't even care about, y'all care about the message that I put out there to the people that follow my channel. You know, I'm not out here trying to mislead nobody. You know, when I read paperwork, I try my best to relay it as accurately as possible. You feel me? These guys aren't doing that. These guys are intentionally misleading people, man. Like, how did he mention those songs or that song in that clip I just played for y'all, but failed to mention that, yo, Back in Blood was written before King Von died and before Didi died. Yo, there's songs, there's videos online where Lil Durk is listening to Back in Blood. I think he was with King Von. Hold up. Look. Look at this. This is the day. This is the day that Durk found out King Von was dead. Right here. There's nobody listening to y'all. Look. That's before King Von died. That's the night King Von died. Lord Durk was listening to Back in Blood. Now, let's go back to DJ Academics' goofy ass.
Little Durk update.
Now look at this.
Montgomery explained to his jail cell mate that the bounty for Youngin, which was Stephon Mack's name, was 70 grand. And that Montgomery Wilson, skinny dude, tried to get the amount increased to 90
I
grand.
think Jesse Jackson was
Next
80.
thing you know, that's a dub. Man, reminds me when we were having that conversation, shorty. Ken told me like, shit, yo, he a 70 ball. So they were talking about some nigga named Ken told him that Stephon Mack was 70,000 was on his head. I said, shit, he a 70 ball right now? He said, man, I'm trying to get him to go to a 90 ball though. And the CS, the jailmate guy says, wait, for a motherfucker. He said, for youngin, which youngin means Stephon Mack. Here's the second excerpt. So in this excerpt, the skinny dude is explained to his cellmate that although individual A, and that's important, contributed 50 grand for the bounty, they only collected a portion of those funds. Now, this is where the obvious and where feds have, consistently like pretty much pointed the elbow at Dirk. They're saying individual A is. They say, yo, look, this is what Jam told Didi. So-and-so gave up 50. He only paid me a dub. So that's 30 missing. Wait, hold up, man. Somebody got a lyric that says, pay me a dub, walk inside the club? What song is that? Back in Blood? Built your mans you keep on talking, better get that shit in blood. Give my shorty and them a dub, and they gonna walk inside the club. Hit his ass, that switch. I bet that shit switch up his nerve. Fuck the ops in South.
Now you see what I'm saying? King Von got killed before D-Thing. He's talking about Stephon Mack murder, which was supposed to be in retaliation for D-Thing dying. And he used Back in Blood, which was written before any of them people died, as a means to sway his viewers into believe that, look, Dirk talked about this crime. It's the same thing the feds doing. And people can't see he working with the government. It's like in order for them to have achieved this goal, right? They had to convince people that it's the people and not the environment. The environment is what raises the people. The environment is what shapes your reality. You understand? How you raised and the things that you went through shapes your reality. It shapes how you view the world. So, in order for the federal government to be able to use these bloggers for police work, they had to convince the world that these people are a problem. Not the environment that creates these people. No, these people. So that's why you got so many people that's willing to say, well, I don't care if he working with the feds. I don't care if he a rat. I'm not in the streets. But it really ain't got nothing to do with the streets. It's really just about integrity. The feds did such a great job of doing this that, people don't even care about integrity no more. Integrity don't even exist. It's not even a thing. With DJ Academics and Trap Lord Ross and all those guys that's combing through them lyrics, what them boys is doing is disgusting, y'all. Let the police do their job, y'all. They get paid for it. Let them do their job, y'all. It shouldn't be your job to sway jurors, because that's the goal. The goal is to sway jurors. The goal is to kill you in public opinion. It makes their life so much easier in court. Y'all was talking to my homeboy the other day. To be a detective right now, this got to be the easiest your job has ever been. This got to be the easiest that a detective job, a homicide detective, or any kind of detective, this got to be the easiest their job has ever been. Because they don't even got to do the work no more. They don't got to track down leads no more. All they got to do is watch DJ Academics. All they got to do is watch Trap Lord Ross. And just, he'll get them all the information they need. And all they gotta do is follow it. It's either a dead end or it's gonna lead to a pot of gold. You feel me? That's all they gotta do. And the people that follow these niggas and watch these niggas, your job is to call them out. But niggas is not, because y'all done fell victim to the play to believe that it's the people and not the environment. So fuck them. Everybody is snitching on themselves, yo. But that don't, even with that, yo, yo, even if Dirk or any other rapper, right? Well, we know DJ Academics just lied right there. But let's say rappers are speaking about crimes in their lyrics. Yo, it shouldn't be the job of the blogger to comb through these lyrics It shouldn't be the job of the blogger to comb through these lyrics and to look over paperwork and try to connect the dots. I know, Ricky, but the thing is, that's the Fed's case. The Fed's case is going through lyrics. So that's what I say, even if the Feds lose certain motions, they gonna get it in anyway. Yo, Trap Lord Ross is the one that created this $1 million bounty shit. He the one created that narrative. Most people don't even know that the Feds don't have no proof of any money being given. No proof. Like zero. They don't have any proof that anybody was paid to kill Quando Rondo. Zero. But yet, you got these bloggers keep putting out misinformation of $1 million bounty. They keep putting out misinformation about rap lyrics. Like I just showed y'all that the lyrics that DJ Academics referenced in that video was written before D-Thing and King Von was murdered. But DJ Academics failed to recognize that on his video. Probably 100 and something thousand people watched that shit. DJ Academics be having 15,000 people. DJ Academics be having 15,000 people on his live stream sometimes. He have failed to mention that, yo, some of these lyrics that's being used are old lyrics. He failed to mention that. So what happens is, when jurors come into the courtroom, there are like in a Diddy case, that's the best example I can use, because the federal government did an excellent job of swaying public opinion when it came down to Diddy. Even though they lost on the major counts, they did an excellent job. Yo, most people went into that Diddy trial. If you didn't follow Keep It G News, because I think at one point I was the only page telling people, yo, that the narrative that was being put out on Diddy was wrong. It could have been some others, but I didn't see any. But if you was following these blogs and you followed Diddy trial, you went into Diddy trial thinking that Diddy was molesting kids, thinking that Diddy was sex trafficking women. You went into the trial believing that, because 98% of the YouTube blogs was pushing that. And it wasn't true. And there was people. You even heard one of the jurors. They went into that trial believing that they was going to see Diddy or hear evidence that Diddy was molesting children. Meanwhile, if you follow Keep It G News, you knew that none of that was in paperwork. I don't even see it. I don't even understand why. That's just pointless. Major, what it is. I'm just saying, y'all. Know what you watching, man. The stuff that these guys doing is not funny. It's not funny at all, man. It's not funny, yo, to act like you're a fan of hip hop, but you really, it's like COINTELPRO. Was COINTELPRO funny back in the day? Did black people think that COINTELPRO was funny back in the day? Because that's what this is. Like, it's the amount of people that think this is funny is insane. Considering this is nothing but a repeat of what they did to the Black Panthers and what they did to Malcolm X and what they did to Martin Luther King. And I'm not talking about the message. I'm just talking about the people, destroyed from within. That's what's going on right now on social media with these bloggers. They are destroying the black community from within. And it's not even black people doing it. It's not black people doing it. Majority of the people doing it are outsiders. DJ Akademiks is an outsider. Yeah. I think that's the same ones who doing this shit right now. CIA, one of them agencies. DJ Akademiks is an outsider, yo. He's not black. He's not black, yo. That's why I showed y'all yesterday or a couple days ago. Go back to that video where I showed y'all the difference and how DJ Akademiks covers black Americans to how he covers black Jamaicans when they commit crimes or when they do something that, when they do something. Look at the difference. And I showed y'all that to explain to y'all or to show y'all that, he knows how to move with integrity. When it's his people, he knows how to move with integrity. But since we aren't his people, he don't give a fuck what happens, man. He just trying to make some money. He'll lie. He'll mislead. He'll glamorize, he'll make satire out of it. But the whole time, this is our real lives, man. This is how some of us really live, This is some of our real life experiences, but to him, it's a fucking game. And the people that watch him, co-signing it. They co-signing it. Now realizing that this man's against you, man. And anything involving you. What's DJ Akademiks' take on reparations? I wonder what he say. Has he ever spoke on that? Yeah, I told y'all this is Revenge of the Nerds. Yeah, he said Tupac was pulled in. His father was a Black Panther and an armored truck robber. He got offered a contract, Operation Mockingbird. I heard about Operation Mockingbird. I'm just telling y'all how this go. The federal government has to have their nose in anything involving black people. Like, to them, it's pivotal. It's mandatory. And when you got people that's blogging and they're able to sway the masses, the federal government is going to tap into these people. Now, it's up for these people to accept or decline. But these guys are more likely to accept because they don't have any connection. They're not demonizing or destroying their people. So they don't give a fuck. DJ Akademiks wouldn't do this to no Jamaicans. If Dirk was a Jamaican, DJ Akademiks wouldn't do that shit, man. He wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it. Like I said, he shouldn't be allowed to say the N-word based off how he moving. Based off how he moving, yo, DJ Akademiks should not be allowed to say nigga. And I'm not saying that with all, black people that's not American blacks. I'm saying him specifically. Him particularly. Based off of how he moves, he shouldn't be allowed to say the N-word, yo. Because I'm at this point, I'm not sure where it's coming from. I'm not sure if he's saying it in a demeaning way. You feel me? Or he's saying it, as a term of endearment. I don't know. Based off how he's moving, I would say he's saying it in a demeaning way. I would say he's saying it in the same context as a white racist. That's what I would say. And that's based off of how he's moving. I ain't always think that way. He probably was bullied. He might have been bullied and picked on when he first came to America by American black kids. He was short, fat. I mean, ain't have no real value to nothing. That nigga added no real value in life. That nigga probably was bullied and picked on, yo. So this is his get back. this is his get back, man. I'm pretty sure he was bullied, man. I'm pretty sure he was. Everything about him says he was a victim. Says he was a victim of bullying. Yeah, man. Everything about him says that. They probably used to chase him home, run his pockets and shit, kick him in his ass. They probably used to get swirlies and shit. Exactly, yo. I be trying to explain that shit to people, boy, bro. That's what they always do. This is what I be trying to get people to understand and why this is important. Because this is the game the federal government always played with black Americans, man. They did it through media. They always slandered us through media. Always. If I can slander you through media, if I can paint a picture so vivid of these people being less than, being unvaluable, then when you see these people getting mistreated, you'll turn the other way. When you see these people getting over sentenced, you will turn the other way. That's the game. And they use black people to do it. That's why I say this is COINTELPRO. Because some black Americans that participate in it too, like Trenches News. But it's easier to convince an outsider that looks black, because most black people don't even understand the difference. You got people like Umar Johnson talking about all African people. And, you know what I mean? Most black people, a large percentage of black people do not understand that, when it comes down to the fight in black America, the only real allies we got is white people. They're the only real allies, man. White people has always been the biggest allies to black civil rights. These outsiders, man, they played the sidelines. They too scared of getting deported. They don't want to say nothing. But we don't even realize that. We support DJ Academics like he one of us. We support DJ Academics like he's one of us. We take DJ Academics' word over our culture like he's one of us, and he's not. He's not. He got a Jamaican flag and backup. How many of y'all got a Jamaican flag in y'all house? How many American blacks that podcast got a Jamaican flag behind them? An African flag behind them? Straight up though, man. That shit's sad. It ain't never going in though. It's really like I'm just speaking to the choir for real. Yeah, he just trying to make money off of it. It's really like I'm speaking to the, a brick wall. The niggas ain't gonna hold him accountable. Niggas still gonna support him. Niggas still gonna be laughing in the comments. Niggas still gonna listen to what he say and take it as fact. But my goal is for the people that do listen, for the people that do have questions about how he's moving. I just want to provide some motherfucking clarity as to, no, you ain't geeking. If you think DJ Academics is working with the feds, you ain't wrong. You're not wrong for thinking that. If you're thinking that the way some of these guys are moving is strange, you know, Trap Lord Ross, and once Dirk got arrested, he put out a 10,000 videos on this nigga. You ain't wrong for questioning it. Straight up. Yeah, that is what it is. They do. They hate us but want to be us. I just saying the dude. I was watching a video where a girl was explaining the fact that she was an Afro Hispanic or something like that. And she was explaining, let me see if I can find that. She was explaining why most Hispanics don't classify as black or something like that. I could be wrong, but it was something of that nature. And a guy got in the comments and said, nah, I ain't got it. He got in the comments and said, well, you know, black Americans don't have a culture. Hey, nigga, what? Our culture is American culture. So look at this. People clown Asian doll. Listen to this, y'all. This is how uneducated that we are as people in this country. As black people in this country. Asian doll said this. Asian doll claims she is Native American from the whatever tribe, Navajo tribe, and is of no African descent. Yo, people clowned her in the comments, right? So you say my mother always write about this Native Indian stuff going on right now. My whole life she told us that she told us what we was and told us never to tell friends or the school the truth about our ethnicity. My mother's been getting a check from the Indian roots our whole life. I can't believe we have been lied to and was forced to say we were African Americans when most of us knew in our hearts we wasn't African descent. Yo, people clowned her for that, right? Yo, but the crazy thing about it is, yo, everybody didn't come over. Everybody didn't come over here on slave ships, and yo, we not all from Africa, yo. It was black people here, and the amount of black people in the world that don't know that is fucking crazy. I think it was like only 30% of us came from Africa. Only 30% of blacks in America came over here through the slave trade. The rest was already here, man. So I can believe her when she say that. It's possible. But you go to the comments, yo, people is clowning her. And it's like, yo, they doing it with such confidence. Like, yo, you wrong as a motherfucker. If you don't think that there was black people over here in the United States before colonization, then you fucking wrong, man. Not her. You are. If her mother told her that, I would believe her. I can believe it. But That shit crazy. Living in a wild world, man. Living in a wild world, man. A lot of misinformation, a lot of misleading, a lot of false representations of facts. It's just a lot of that going on, man. I tries to fight it, yo, but my page ain't big enough to fight it, because the truth doesn't get promoted as much as the lie does. The lie gets promoted. I just ain't willing to go that route for money. Like, I can't do it. I won't do it. I could have been done it. As long as I've been on the internet, I could have been started, moving crazy to get more money out this shit. But it ain't that deep to me. I'd rather tell the truth. I'd rather give out accurate, detailed information of situations than to mislead and thousands of people or hundreds of thousands of people see it. Nah, fuck that. I ain't. This ain't that serious. Them niggas lying right now. Even when it came down to the severance, I think that's a good tactic. I think that's a smart tactic to use in Dirk murder for hire case, is to try to get a severance with Didi and them, to get a severance. I think they go to Alvin. Don't they go to court for that Monday? I think that's what they're going to court for Monday. That's a good tactic. A lot of the Indians wasn't not even real Indians. That's where the term $5 Indian came from. They was allowing people to pay. They was allowing people to pay to be Indians back during that time. Oh yeah, all the cost was $5. Give us $5, you can become an Indian. Look it up. Yeah, but DJ Demis is an outsider, man. He's an outsider, and that's why he moves that way. He don't have no real connection to the culture. He doesn't care about the culture. He doesn't care about black people. I think he would rather black Americans be in jail. For real, like I think he would much rather want that as opposed to black Americans flourishing and black Americans getting money. And I think I can say that with confidence based on how he covered black Americans compared to how he covered people from his own race. His own heritage, his own, place of, where he was from. So you got the American Indians and the Native Americans, two different people. Now I know my family is from came over here through slavery. Because most of us came from the South. I know, especially up in here in Maryland. A lot of people in Maryland came from slavery. Because our families from the South and migrated up. But that don't mean everybody. Yeah, man. And the sad part is that black people don't even realize that. They think we all came from slavery. And I know why people think that, because that's basically what's been taught to us. But it gets to a point in life where you gotta start doing your own research. You know what I mean? Doing your own research. They lied. History was a lie. You know what I mean? I told my kids when they start teaching y'all history, yo, question everything. Ask questions, y'all. Don't just take what they say as fact, because they lying about history. They lying about how all this shit started. Yo, you think they was able to bring, how many people y'all think they could have actually brought over here on slave ships? Like, look at the ships now. Now go back 500 years. 500 years. Yo, how many trips you think they could really take back and forth? You know what I mean? Like, just think about that. How many trips could they really take 500 years ago, 600 years ago? How many trips from Africa to America do you think they was able to really do? I don't think they could have done many, man. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. They probably did a few. But I don't think it was nearly as much as, the America wants you to believe. Appreciate it. Yeah. I know my grandfather on my mother's side, he had Indian in him. He definitely had Indian in him. Oh, well, I knew that growing up. I don't know if I got cut off on him. But I didn't even want to make this live that long for real. I just woke up. I actually was ready to go back to sleep. I woke up and I seen DJ Academics still doing that shit. And people keep posting these clips without context. Like, at least if you're going to post the clips of Academics line, at least provide context to it. Don't just mislead people. Because most people aren't going to do the research. Most people think these blogs do the research. And some blogs do. Some blogs will do the research for you, like me. But some of these people, man, they're not interested in that. They want to be first. They just trying to get the story out. They just trying to get out the narrative. Especially when you got niggas like him that's working with the federal government. They don't give a fuck how true it is. They just want it out. You know what I mean? They just wanted to get shared. So most people aren't going to do their own research and question what they see because they're going to assume that. Because you would think, right, that a person, like where I'm from, your name matters. I never sold bad drugs. If I had some drugs that was bad, I wouldn't sell it. I'd give it back. You know why? Because I don't want my name attached to that. I don't want, when niggas come through, they be like, oh, yo, that's yo with the bullshit weed, or that's yo with the, I don't want that attached to my name. My name is everything. And I take that same mentality on a YouTube. But some of these people don't. They don't mind that being attached to their name. Yo, DJ Academics is doing all this talking on Dirk case, and he have yet to, if even mention, this is how you know it was intentional. He have yet to mention that his interview, when he asked Dirk about the Slide for Vaughn comments, he have yet to mention that being in the paperwork. Intentionally, he sees it. Sure, he said, he knows it. He knew what he was doing when he did it. But most people think that these blogs are going to move with integrity. They're not going to put out anything that's going to, like I talked about, like I did the video when I was talking about Vlad, keep bringing up Trenches News, asking Trenches News about Dirk, spreading misinformation about Dirk. You would have thought that Vlad, who got 6 million followers, he would treat his platform as a place of truth. You would think that. Yeah, but he don't. He get up that bitch and say, it just spread rumors like, nobody came to visit Dirk when the last court date. Only person came was India, and that's a lie, yo. And I explained that to y'all in detail too. When it come down to certain court dates, yo, you're not even gonna want your people's always there. Yeah, I seen that. You're not even gonna want your peoples to come to every court date. You don't want your people to every time you gotta go to court, they stop what they doing. It's not an indication that he's not getting support or people forgot about him. It's just is what it is. Certain court dates are longer than others. Like I explained that to y'all before. Like, you're gonna have court dates where you don't want everybody to come. You know, it's only gonna be 15 minutes. Most of the time, your people don't even know what's going on anyway. You know what I mean, your people that come to a court date and just be sitting there. They don't understand none of the proceedings. They just there. You feel me? Like, I'd rather you stay home. I know what's going on, and I explain that shit to you when I see you on a visit or something. You know what I mean? Explain it to you over the phone. You said that man asked Trenches that he did not just say no one came to court date. It don't matter how it happened. It was a lie being told on his platform. Love Bivens. It don't matter how he asked it. It was a lie told. It was a lie told. He did the same thing with 1090 Jake. It's not he didn't. It was 10. He asked. I got a video showing what he said to them and his response. It was a lie told. Yo, they came. Dirk family was in court. It wasn't just his wife. His father was there. His mother was there. His sister was. They was there. She might have been the only one that got caught on camera. But even if they wasn't there, he did lie. Dirk's mother put out a statement after that. Or his aunt, somebody who was that album put out a statement after that. Even if they wasn't there, that is not an indication of being forgot about. I told you, yo, I think Jesse Jackson was a plant, yo. I don't know why you call him a troublemaker. I think he was working for the same people that, cause trouble. But anyway, I think that yeah, yo, even in certain court dates. Love Bivens, what are you talking about? We talking about Trenches News, line. We talking about Vlad. Why are you asking a question that's not true? Vlad? He asked him a question that wasn't true. You have 6 million people following you. These people follow you thinking that they're getting some truth from your platform. But I'm telling y'all, these guys don't participate in that. They don't participate in truth. They're not interested in truth. They're interested in viral. They're interested in viral. You must have came in late. You don't understand where the conversation was going. I was saying that because people watch these people that got these large platforms and they automatically believe that since the person platform has reach or since they got a lot of followers that they're moving with integrity, that they won't push a lie on their platform. And I'm saying that that's not true. They will still push a lie. They would probably rather push a lie over the truth because lies get you views. Like, I don't even necessarily believe that, the Slide for Vaughn comments had any real burns on decisions being made. I don't believe that. If decisions was made. I don't believe it was pressure from the internet. I don't. If I was a rapper and somebody from my entourage was murdered and the opposing side was disrespecting that person repeatedly in songs, it wouldn't matter what the internet said. Yeah, it wouldn't matter what the internet said. I don't give a fuck what y'all saying. Like, especially depending on this person and how close he was to me and how pivotal he was to everything I had going on. I wouldn't need the internet to put no pressure on me to make no decisions. What's going on? So you talk about something else, little baby. Let me tell you something, right? You talk about blog guys going on these blogs and answering incriminating questions. You're right. They don't have to answer those questions. But you got to factor this. Depending on the person, Dirk didn't really say too much to DJ Academics. But they just, anything you say will be used against you in court. So the feds are going to use what he said to try to paint a narrative. The defense is going to have to, discredit that narrative. But when you talk about some of the things some of the questions that has been asked to some of these lesser people, some of these incriminating questions that these guys ask when they got 5 million, 6 million, 3 million, when they got these large platforms and they interviewing a person on a come up. And the world feeds off of negativity. That that the question is crazy. That. That this question can probably get me killed. That this question can probably get me sent to prison. But you also know that this question could propel my career. That's a tough decision to make, man. I would say that if I was a platform that had millions of followers, and I know my position, I know this, just like how I explained it to you. I know my platform can basically make you or break you. I'm not going to ask you a question that's going to break you. I'm not going to do that. Your platforms can be weaponized. I'm not going to weaponize my platform against my guests. I'm not going to do that. So yeah, you're right. They don't have to answer the questions. But it's not as easy as a decision as you think it is, because if you don't answer the questions, you might not get another interview. Which means that these 5 million or 3 million eyes that's watching you, nigga ain't gonna bring you back up there for them to watch you again. So it's almost like you damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's one of them situations. It's a trick bag. They putting them in a trick bag. They putting them in a situation where I can answer this question and I can go to jail, or I can answer this question and I can get rich. What you gonna choose? A lot of people that's ignorant is gonna choose to get rich, not realizing that it ain't gonna last long. You ain't hear what I said. It's not about the payment. It's about the future endeavors. It's about going viral. You're weighing going viral versus going home. That's what's on the table. Now, I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying that's a tough position to put somebody in, especially a young person of ignorance. Like a Q50. Well, Q50 actually did a good job, but he ain't been back on Vlad since. Like a what's the fuck that boy name? Like a BTB Savage. Yeah, man. Vlad put that boy in a fucked up situation. I don't know. He should never did an academics interview. Nope. He should never did an academics interview. Cause they lined him up. Cause y'all remember too, y'all around that time they Quando Rondo was getting interviewed too. Like, this is what they do. And I think they're doing it on behalf of the feds. As soon as Dirk got arrested, what happened? Quando Rondo on Vlad. Quando Rondo on Adam 22. Y'all remember that? They weren't on them platforms before Dirk got booked. They weren't on them platforms before they got booked. Where's that light coming from? Yeah, Dirk should never did an interview with academics. Even though he didn't say anything, but he shouldn't even have done it. He shouldn't even have gave them people that motherfucking that audio, that video. Shouldn't have gave him none of that. Because you know when the people coming down on you, you can feel it. Yeah, but they brought Quando back right after Dirk got booked and kept asking questions about Lil Pad. Quando Rondo ain't answering none of them questions. Man, then remember DJ Academics brought Quando Rondo up too. Remember? After Dirk got booked and kept trying to ask him incriminating ass questions. Because this is what people gotta understand. Feds is using open source research, open source reporting. And when you're open source, so what the feds realize is, we can use these blogs because they're media. We can use these people to get to interview certain rappers that won't tell to us. You know what I mean? If the feds was to snatch Lil Durk ain't gonna get no statement. Yeah, Lil Tim snitched about the bounty. If the feds was to snatch Quando Rondo might not tell. Lil Tim might not tell. But if he do an interview with DJ Academics, do an interview with Vlad, do an interview with Adam 22, do an interview with Trap Lil Ross, and we slide them some of these questions that we need answered, we might can get an answer out of them. And then we can use that shit in court. And the interviewer never has to testify. Nobody never have to know that we did this. All this can be done behind closed doors, and it'll never be known. That's what's going on right now. Tim did tell about the bounty. Vlad asked Lord Tim, did he know about $100 million bounty placed on his head? He said, yeah. He said, yeah. He supposed to said no. He said, yeah, man. That's snitching. Even though it ain't true. He supposed to said no. Hell no. Man, that fuck no. I ain't hear nothing about that. Where you heard that from? That man said, yeah, man. That's telling, man. But I just want people to be aware of what they watching, man. Be aware of what they supporting. And your favorite YouTuber fuck around be a federal agent. You know what I mean? I don't know. I showed you. What you talking about? Look. I put it in a video before. Look. This is snitching, man. Lil Tim Vlad TV $1 million bounty.
Lil Tim Vlad TV million.
How did that make you feel? There was a rumor around this time that there was a $1 million bounty on your.
I heard you in a better place, just in case.
Yeah, that's smart, man. I don't understand why people just sit around for things to happen as opposed to being proactive
Then it's
about
like-
certain situations.
Then it's like if it was to happen, I hope it don't. Like no jinx or nothing like that. But then if it happened, he like boom. You knew better. You knew you should have did that. Yeah. So it's like go ahead and do it.
Now, there was a rumor around this time that there was a $1 million bounty on your head.
Yeah.
Did you hear about it?
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
It's like
Yeah, that's snitching, man. It's telling. That will be used in court. That can be used in court. This man is locked up on alleged murder for hire This was the theory at the time. Now they changed the theory. It's not murder for hire no more. It's death by stalking. So that's not the case no more, y'all. It's not a murder for hire case no more. It's a death by stalking case. But at the time, Dirk was arrested for murder for hire. Supposed to have been a bounty placed. Now you bring somebody on your platform that's close to the situation and ask him. He knows he's close to the situation. He knows that the narrative that a bounty was placed. You ask this man, did you hear about the rumor of $1 million bounty? His answer to them is yeah. That's telling, man. It's telling. Like, hey, Lil Bibbins, you must don't know how this shit go. I know the police killed Von, but you must don't know how this shit go. He's too close to the situation to have answered that question. Too close. Quando Ronald got him interviews. He ain't answered no questions involving Pab. No questions. He ducked them. Lil Tim didn't. Lil Tim didn't. That's stitch. I don't know how y'all carry where you from. But where I'm from, nigga do some shit like that, you told, my nigga. Yeah, man. You told. In Baltimore. Yep, the government narrative is that Tim killed Von. I don't know. I'm just saying, y'all. These guys that's acting like they fans of hip hop, like Trap Lil Ross, he's not a fan of hip hop. He's not a fan of hip hop music. He's just here to collect. He's here to make as much money as he can before his cover is blown. Yeah, man. That's all. He here to make as much money as he can. Create a disturbance. You remember Trap Lil Ross, the one that said King Von was a fucking serial killer. You still got people repeating that shit. King Von was a demon. He out here calling black men demons. A white man calling black men demons. And motherfuckers is co-signing that shit. It ain't him calling black men a demon is no different than Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden saying that black kids were super predators. What's the fuck is this? The same thing, ain't it? What's the difference between a demon and a super predator? I would think a demon is worse than a super predator. Yo. Yeah, I ready to get off, though. Trade there. Alright. Yo, hold up. Pad was innocent. Yeah, Pad wasn't innocent. But they rappers though, man. Rappers call themselves anything. Yo, most rappers are lying. I mean, rappers are calling themselves a demon. That don't mean you gotta repeat it. You feel me? And Lil Pad was dissing too. Love Bivens. Lil Pad wasn't innocent. Yo, you're not innocent. Let me explain something to people, right? Because I think people use that term innocence loosely. So, in Julio Fulio murder trial, one of Julio Fulio homeboys was on the stand crying. He was crying. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this nigga crying about? Because he was a so-called innocent victim. Right? Let me explain something to you. If I'm dissing in my songs, and you hang with me, knowing I'm dissing in my songs, and shit get real, shots get to flying, and you get hit, you're not fucking innocent. What you mean you innocent? Because if you're around me and you know what I'm doing, and you still continue to be around me, you're not fucking innocent. You know people trying to kill me, man. You know people want me dead for the things that I said. You being around me is basically co-signing and say I'm rocking with you. So when shots get to flying, yo, you're not innocent. It's not an innocent person. Innocent person is unbeknownst to any. An innocent person has no idea what's actually going on. What's up, kid, baby? That's an innocent person. You know, a person that's not aware of what you got going on outside. And then when shots get to flying, they get hit. They die. That's an innocent person. Lil Pab was around Quando Rondo. Knowing Quando Rondo was dissing. Knowing niggas wanted him dead. Knowing beef was at an all-time high. He's not innocent, man. It's not innocent. He knew what was going on. Lil Pab killed the Lil Durk look like in the music video. Like, come on, man. He wasn't innocent. I think we use that term way too loosely. That's like victims. You know, we use that term loose too. Everybody's not a victim. Everybody isn't innocent. You can't be innocent and you know what's going on and you still hang around with this person. No, you're not innocent, bro. If he ain't want nothing to do with it, he should have stayed the fuck away from him. Should have stayed away from him. You innocent. You don't want nothing to do with this shit. Well, that's not the point. It's not about they knew he was in the truck or not. Who knows? Who knows? They could have known. It's not about that. He shouldn't have been in the truck. Yeah, man, that's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make. He shouldn't have been in the truck. You know this man beefing. You know this man dissing in his songs. If you wasn't down with it, you should have stayed the fuck away from him. Yo, I've seen situations where a nigga disassociate itself from a person based off of what issues this person got in the streets. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm gonna back away from it. If I gotta back away from you to separate myself from what you got going on, then that's what I'm gonna do. Pab didn't do that. Pab was in music videos. Pab was a part of it. He was riding with him. You know? And I don't want to be, show lack of empathy, you know, but it is what it is. You know, you ride with him, you die with him. That's how that shit go in the streets. That's why you stop the streets, man. Streets dangerous, man. Streets dangerous. But y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all share this live. I think I'm gonna break this up and turn it into an upload sometime today. But Lil Pab would have been locked up on a RICO, but instead, oh yeah, he probably would have. He probably got caught up with them niggas too. But it's enough there. Keep it. So I was saying a lot. I've been in the world down there 50 years. Pab was supposed to be in the videos. That's why Durk and his friends. You said what? Pad was supposed to be in them videos. What you mean? He was supposed to be in them videos. Well, he was rocking with him, so you can't claim innocence. If you rocking with him, you can't be innocent. That's like if you get in my car and I tell you, look, yo, you know, I'm riding dirty. You feel me? I got guns, I got drugs, I got everything in this bitch. And you still choose to get in my car, right? If the police get behind me and I take them on a high speed chase, you can't be like, yo, let me out. The fuck you mean let you out? Not yet. The fuck you talking about? Yo, I told you what it was. When you got in here, you knew I was dirty. You know I ain't pulling over. You feel me? You still chose to get in here. You had a choice to make. You could have said, you know what? Nah, I'm good. Yeah, I didn't been in situations where niggas were like, yo, I'm riding dirty, and I'd be like, I go ahead, y'all. I'll let you later. You feel me? Yo, take me up the street real quick. Man, look, you can ride, take you, but I'm dirty as a motherfucker. I'd be like, nah, go ahead, fuck it. I'll walk. Or I'd be like, well, shit, I'm getting in that bitch. But I know when I get in, whatever's in this car is mine too. But hey, that's not nobody's fault. I understand that. If I get in this car, knowing what's in this car, anything that's in this car is also mine. When shit get real, I can't be sitting back like, yo, what's up, yo? What you gonna do? You gonna take the case? Nah, yo. At least not off the rip. I mean, don't let me go to prison. But I'm gonna have to sit it out while we fight. Now, if we can't fight, I mean, you know, if it gets to a point where, you know, we going down, then that's when you be like, man, look, yo, everything in the car was mine. Can't have nothing to do with it. You know, but I'm not gonna be expecting you to, like, off the rip, as soon as you get pulled over, be like, look, everything in here mine. He ain't got nothing to do with it. That's stupid, yo. Like, some people think that way. Some people think that's what you're supposed to do. Nah, fuck no. I don't know what part of the game. That's that new shit. Everybody have to be accountable for their own actions. I got into this car knowing good and goddamn well that it was drugs and guns, and I chose to get in here anyway. Now, if we go to jail, I gotta take accountability for, because I could have said no. Like I said, I done been in both situations where I decided to go, and I done been in a situation where I said, you know what? I ain't for that right now. I just walk. I done been in both situations. Pab chose to get in that car. He knew what was going on. Not a victim. I know possession 9/10 of the law. And the fact that they didn't know somebody was going to drop their location, so what? The fuck is the street? Shit happens. But that mean he don't fight. That don't mean he don't fight. You still got to fight. And that don't mean blogs should be helping the police either. Because that's what the whole video was about. Blogs shouldn't be out here helping the police solve cases. It's not that it's just... Well, I thought that wasn't the job of the blogger. It seems like now it is. It seems like now the job of the blogger is to solve cases. You know? Shit crazy. Shit crazy. But, goddamn, we an hour and a half in. Yo, hit that like button. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel if you're new. Share the live. It's another day keeping you new.